Yerp! Welcome to your extended magical moon message. This is the dealer of peace, aka the peace dealer. And I want to start this off welcoming each and every single one of you who are joining this live. Thank you very much. I definitely enjoy doing these 999 Suns. Thank you very much. And it is my supreme intention that this message touch and speak to you in the way that it's meant to. I'm going to be divulging a lot of information, so definitely looking forward to, making sure that this is understood, because with the North Node that's shifting into Aries in the next couple days, in less than 48 hours, it's going to shift 29 degrees in there. This is definitely the 2-week cycle that is pushing you forward. And one thing that I'm amazed in talking to many different people that I've kind of felt was very similar, where all of us are doing our own unique things. What we all share in common, and shout out to those of you who have Aries North Node, congratulations. Okay. What I've noticed is that, and Jasmine, thank you very much. I noticed that a lot of you are in a position where it's like you're wanting to redirect how and what you push yourself forward. And it could have felt like you're stuck. It could have felt like, what's the way forward? And what I really like about that is that North Node Aries shift is what's going to be all speed ahead, square 29 degrees Pluto, getting ready to square 29 degrees Cancer Sun. So it's a lot to look forward to. Shout out to Jasmine, who said you'd definitely be setting up a reading. What I have just started right now is the crab sale. Okay, I have an automatic discount on my website for any of you who want readings or reports. They are all 50% off until the 22nd of July at the end of Cancer season. There's no discount code. The discount is automatically applied once you put it in the cart. Okay, so I'm going to be running that promo for the rest of the Cancer season for any of you who want reports, or if you want consultations. They're of course all half off. And the replay for this video will be available here on Instagram for those of you who are subscribers. But for this specific video, if you want to catch this replay, it will be public for YouTube. This is also $3.99 tier on YouTube, but I will be making that free and available on YouTube exclusively. For, of course, Instagram, that one is going to be exclusive to the subscribers. So that there's a loophole. For those of you who want to catch this again, go to YouTube. I'm going to put it there. I'm going to mention this again at the end for those of you who've been asking, because some of you have been asking about my tip jar, and the tip jar before wasn't available. If you click the link in the bio, if you're watching this on YouTube and you click the link in the description box below, for those of you who've been wanting to share tips, which I really appreciate, once again, like just a simple prayer or a word of love or whatever is more than enough. That's there available for you too. So let's talk about the moon in Capricorn to moon in Cancer. We're gonna have a new moon in Cancer at the very end of Cancer, opposite Pluto. And the reason why I'm gonna upload on YouTube, great question, it's gonna be regular on YouTube. The reason why this is very important is if we look at the communication and angles relative to everything we've set up, this next 2 weeks, starting from last week, so we're already a week in it. This next week and a half is literally a lever being switched. So if we think about Pluto that's retrograded back into Capricorn, over the past 3 months from March into April, it entered Aquarius. And this began the awakening of humanity. If you think about the impending revolutions and how people in mass, this time with internet, because the last time Pluto was here was the 1700s and we did not have broadband dial-up connections. Now people from all over the world can connect like this. So just like last time, and Jasmine, I still do the magic moon message. Oh, the weekly predictions. I might have to bring that back. I just wanted to end my run there. I want to change the way I do that, but I'll think about bringing them back. Thank you, Jasmine. That's a really good question. Basically, the revolutions that occurred in the 1700s when Pluto left Aquarius, it's happening again, where you're seeing movies like Mel Gibson put out about child trafficking, human trafficking. You're seeing a lot more news come out about government corruption, Snowy Beach. I love your name, Snowy Beach. And that whole Pluto Aqua chapter over the next 2 decades is full on revolution, but with internet. Okay, it's bringing in the sins of the forefathers of every country, and how as their descendants we are cleaning up their mess, or at least once again reintegrating the consequence of so much colonization and just so much different countries spreading influence. Okay, I'm not saying that any of this is good or bad. It's just a consequence. So that being said, the small time Pluto was in Aquarius put the pin in an impending revolution that you have everything to do with, because this revolution is a revolution of the individual. Your civil rights, your civil liberties, everything you can do as an individual relative to the collective authorities and societies around you, and most importantly, who you are, how you identify with who you are. A resurgence in identity politics, especially aligned with LGBTQ plus and other such, relevant, newsworthy material that is bringing this up, is going to shift this directly to you. So the whole notion of you reading about it, hearing about it, versus it directly affecting you, we're on the verge of switching that lever. And everything up until end of 2019 with the North Node in Gemini during Trump's presidency, and then the North Node in Taurus during Biden's first part of his presidency, was to change your mind and perception, 2019, 2020, and then to ground the perception you're building value in so that now you can move in that direction. So since 2021 especially, you may unknowingly have built your foundation. You have been manifesting very important values. It's going to be a very fiery Lion's Gate. And this inadvertently has prepared for you to understand the footing of what direction to move towards your highest authenticity. Going over Chiron, which is going to include self-healing. So I want to set up, before I talk about them 2 weeks, I want to set up what led to here for why this is a lever switch. Okay. So we since 2011 had Jupiter going through the zodiac. Every year, Jupiter transits through a sign. Okay. So we had a 12-year evolution cycle since 2011. The evolution cycle 2011 facilitated the Saturn returns of the entire Pluto Scorpio generation. Okay. So for those of you born 82 to 95, Saturn during that spree went from Virgo to Pisces. So the last parts of Pluto Libra got their Saturn return, and Pluto Cap. This next cycle of evolution from 2022 to about 2034, all of you born after 95, okay, Pluto Sag, you're beginning to come into your Saturn return. I want to put this in a context because the last couple evolution cycles brought the collective out of a very outdated understanding of metaphysical and psychic phenomena, to where with the completion of this Jupiter cycle coming into 2021, 2022, we've seen developments in quantum mechanics starting to really mirror what psychics, magicians have said, just without the scientific backing. Science catching up to spirituality. I hate that term, but it's a way to say it, right? So with that being said, this next evolution cycle is bringing in the most significant evolution of consciousness. A large part of that are for those of you born in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Y'all are the direct front runners. If you think of everything in your life, every skill that you've ever learned in your life, that since last year has evolved to the next level, 2023 is pioneering this brand new launch of who you are now. Science realizing the quantum simulation, who you are evolving into over this next cycle. Uranus, which was last decade in Aries, which literally awakened this new sense of yourself. That Uranus Aries transit over the last decade up until about 2018 was literally awakening your super self. Ever since 2018, the whole notion of unconventional branding and independent branding has been huge, where you're now manifesting the quality of not only the extra dimensional metaphysical energy of higher facets of you that are manifesting. Mind you, science has proven that the atoms are like 0.01 physical. So you have so much of you that's unseen. So what if, relative to a collective awakening of humanity, you in your evolution are able to harness these metaphysical unseen facets, like many of the ascended masters who came down here to teach humanity that the kingdom of heaven is within, and you don't need a middleman between you and God. You can harness who you truly are, right? May your will be done on earth as it is in heaven, which is as above, so below. So a lot of the demystification around these concepts, you and you alone are initializing your own unique understanding of, because the way you do things is not the way other people are going to do things. So Aries, Taurus, and Gemini season of this year not only initialized Jupiter's conjunction in Aries, but now we're manifesting that. So by November, we're getting ready to complete this first stage of evolving you and your worth. This is what's going to bring in a considerable shift in income for so many of you, and to actually begin the process of, for some of you, stepping into a new tax bracket. Although it's less about money and more about the value that you are bringing into this world, that's going to get a lot of you paid. All right. The most important thing about this, now that we're in Cancer season, is Aries, Taurus, and Gemini are activation. Cancer, Leo, and Virgo are integration. So Virgo is very important because we have Neptune in Pisces and Saturn in Pisces. The Saturn cycle that started in Aries 1995 was one of the most important Saturn cycles, because what this engineered was the beginning of course, so many new themes. Rugrats didn't air until Saturn was in Aries. If you think about all the cartoons, the new cartoons that actually aired, like Rugrats, Ren and Stimpy, that came from a period where cartoons were airing the same old reruns, the same old Hanna-Barbera, Looney Tune reruns. This is what led to so much new material that we as kids ingested. That started Saturn and Aries, the new world order that coming back into 2025 will instill not only a new karmic cycle, but all of these freak mutant alien gods and goddesses born after 95, they're going to start to come of age. It's their graduating class. So Saturn in Pisces is graduating everyone who was born 93, 94, and some in 95. And the reason why that's important is, while Neptune is here, the last time Neptune was in Pisces was in the 1800s. So this coming back around, Wild Child 915, thank you, bro. This coming back around with Saturn is, over the next 2 years, simulating the end of the world. Let's break that down. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. It's the final perspective. So by the time planets transit Pisces, we're coming into the why things happen. It's a collective realization that breaks through illusions and dreams and false collective narratives. But Saturn is representative of the world, totality. So we have the sign of totality at the end of the zodiac. It's the beginning of the end of the world. And As Saturn completes out of Pisces, everything that has constituted traditions and social expectations since the 1800s and the 1700s is over. You're literally watching the crumbling of this world. The reason why this is so important is the next world, the new world order, that's all you. You are building your arc. This arc, engineered by the imagination of Pisces, is holding space by belief. Pisces is, I believe, believing in aspects of yourself, believing in realities that science hasn't caught up to yet, that you must build the arc by flexing the muscle of your belief, so that once this crosses the sage, Neptune in Aries and Saturn in Aries, because you have built this arc, when it floods and pours, you're not going to drown and die. Okay, you're going to make it with your abilities to the next world. The parable of the talents and the master who gave talents. The reason why this is exciting is the mechanic of this is supernatural powers and abilities. Okay, kindness is a superpower. Love is a superpower. Patience is a superpower. Some of you have kicked habits. And shout out to Karen Crony, the Pluto Virgos supporting this generation. You are so valued, especially for those of you Pluto Virgos with Saturn and Neptune over your Pluto. That's very amazing. You know, some of you have kicked habits. You've gained improvement, and you may not realize that that's the superpower. That beneath the surface, an iceberg of what you see on the surface, there's so much within you that's getting ready to express, coming through Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. So Aries, Taurus, and Gemini activated these powers like an app within you, and Cancer, Leo, and Virgo is expressing them through you. This Cancer season that we just had with all this Pisces energy is directing the function of how you feel about who you're becoming relative to strengthened beliefs that are materializing. Can I order a report that you can send to me? Anna King, absolutely. The time you order the report is the time that I'm going to record it. So you don't have to show up for the report. All my readings are 50% off automatically. You don't have to enter a discount code until the 22nd. So for those of you who don't have the time to talk with me, order a report. I will record it and email when finished. Okay. So by the time we reach Virgo season, integration is Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. Breakthrough is Libra, Scorpio, and Sag of Ascension. And then completion is Capricorn, Aquarius, Shadow Aquarius, and Pisces. Okay. By the time we get to Virgo season that since 2010, Saturn was in Virgo 2008 and entered Libra 2010. Since 2008, we're now going to have Virgo transits opposite Saturn that's in Pisces now. So you're getting ready to see over a decade worth of mastery, to where by the time we go into Virgo season, you're mastering abilities that you have activated over the past 3 months, and it will really feel like you're using superpowers. The rest of this Cancer season is you feeling you use these abilities. And thankfully, since last year, November, so much synchronization and synchronicities have guided you through the process to remind you that this is real. Because so many elements of the next level, you are a part of a collective that is consciously evolving to where so much elements that we are taught are going to be obsolete. Okay, you can go to my website, by the way. I offer a bunch of reports, transit forecasts, natal. If you've never ordered one, get the natal report. I'll look up your chart. If you want the progressed, I'll look at where it is now. The transit forecast will let you know what's going to go over 3 months to 6 months. Okay, so this is a very controversial thing to say, because mainstream science does not acknowledge psychic abilities outside of fantasy and outside of science fiction. That is a deliberate plot to nerf you. That please understand that the same governments that are hiring scientists to tell you that psychic ability isn't real, the CIA has documents that prove manifestation is real. The CIA in the 70s and 60s, when Uranus was in Virgo, and Pluto was in Virgo, they were able to find psychic arts. Like the KGB knows this is real in Russia. Every country has their own astrologers and psychics. There's a very important reason why they want to make this fantasy. If they show you it's sci-fi, you're not going to feel the need to explore it. If they don't teach you this in school, if they're not funded research institutions to look more into this outside of secret government projects that you can research, like the dream gate, like all of these things are declassified information. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not some evil reason they don't want people to know this, even though partially some of it is greed. But the cool thing is you don't have to take my word for it, because you are actually experiencing this. Reality is stranger than fiction, after all. The science of the background confirmation. So this is where you're the most important part of this revolution, because we're all one big puzzle. And the puzzle piece of your own unique experience will facilitate others with unique experiences that you can both help each other. So let's break down why you're actually feeling superpowers. Okay. Saturn's completion of its karmic cycle since 91. And you have to understand the last time Saturn completed its cycle was in 64. Okay. So for those of you born after 95, or for those of you born from 64 to 95, you've been having your graduation class. The final ones of us having our graduation class are those of you born 94 and 95. Okay. And y'all are some of the most magical people. You're all full-on reality warpers. And you Saturn Pisces are here to really hold the collective responsible to the integrity of their beliefs. That's why belief systems for you more than other people are very important. All right. You kind of help and have authority to teach people to do that, which can affect everyone, but definitely for you. The riots were in 64 and 91. I love that. So with that being said, okay, Saturn is completing a cycle. Jupiter has completed a cycle, but the outer planets of Neptune and Uranus, the metaphysical with Neptune of dreams, and the extra dimensional of your causal mind with cosmic energy, have now grounded in Taurus to individuate this collective process that this takes years, because we're all connected. So this awakening is not just you awakening. If you are a fly in the wall, the actions you take work and function like a body of God. So this entire body is awakening. And the cool thing about this is, relative to 2020 to 2022, 2020 to 2022, Saturn went from Capricorn to Pisces, the last three zodiac signs. Okay. Jupiter went from Capricorn to Aries, the last three zodiac signs into the first. So this new cycle, right, with Jupiter and Uranus and the North Node that's trining Virgo, Mars, 0 degrees, is facilitating not only another evolution cycle of power in Aries, the power of your individuality, you're evolving how you act and see as yourself, but because relative to this activation and the Pluto leaving the end of Capricorn, this is what's been inducing at a very subatomic level elements of your own body and physical senses and physiology to align with elements of your spirit, all right, your mental force that you have never seen but have been using forever. So the most important thing to understand about this activation and integration of superpower is that you're not learning anything new. Many of you are remembering what you've done your whole life. You're just realizing what it is. You're starting to make sense of coincidences that were never coincidences. It was you using magic. And you're breaking free of literal conditioning and programming that taught you not to see yourself as you truly are. Think about this society we're in, because the North Node going into Aries is important with the square to Pluto. That square to Pluto in Capricorn is taking in the fact that your whole life you have been put in a box. You've been classified as a race, color, nationality, gender, and like none of those things are you at all. So like the intangible real element of who you are that's grounding enough for you to affect causality, you're getting ready to truly move forward as that in a way that very, very, very powerfully helps you move forward so authentically. And as of now, you know what that is. You have an idea of what that is. So you must move in that direction. And trust me, everything's going to unfold. Like for those of you who felt stuck, like what's the way to move forward? It's all going to unfold. And the challenge is for you to just move forward in that direction. So Aries, Taurus, and Gemini season over the past 3 months from 2020 to 2022 was activating the collective element. That's why we went through the pandemic. That was collective decisions that, of course, influenced the world. This next level, 2023, 2024, 2025, is all individual. Jupiter in Aries, Taurus, and Gemini, preparing for the New World Order 2025, where civil and individual liberties are going to be threatened and challenged, but we're rising up to the equation over this North Node Aries, identity crisis. I love it. All right, and shout out to who just ordered a report right now. So with that being said, guys, okay, what's very important about this is the last 3 months activated superpowers. We had Jupiter, the king of the gods, conjunct the sun in Aries, and then Uranus and Taurus and Neptune and Pisces. Okay, so that is the whole concept of activating superpowers. And when I say superpowers, I mean superpowers. Okay, Gemini helped you understand what they are. And that was the new moon cycle that we just completed. So you at current are not only manifesting a transcendent understanding of how to use these abilities, but once we step into the new moon in Cancer in a new few days, you're literally going to activate this new power. Okay, so why is this important? We just finished activation, guys. That new moon in Cancer is going to begin officially the integration cycle. So the integration cycle is you mastering these powers. By the time we're in Virgo season, you will have mastered these new abilities to where you can use them in any social context. And then where we're going to go, Libra, we're going to break through. So Virgo is practicing the choreography. Libra is finally performing it on stage. And Leo's on stage, by the way. But Libra is actually finally performing it officially. Okay. The power is you. Your superpower is that no one else is you. But you have so much complex layers to yourself. It has taken your whole life to decondition yourself, unlearn everything you've been learned, and to really express yourself in the most authentic way. So here's the coolest thing about this Cancer season. Right as we're beginning to start integration, the last 3 months, activation is similar to starting an app. Let's say that your superpowers are an analogy for an application. We don't have to get too fantastical with this. Some of your superpowers is you can wake up without an alarm. You kicked a weed or alcohol habit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's going to start pretty simple and it's going to spiral, right? For some of you, it's telepathy. For others of you, you know what I'm saying? You have mental powers. You're starting to, and the reason why this is important is the hard part about this is you can't rely on peer-reviewed research. You're going to be the peer-reviewed research. You can't necessarily rely on old textbooks. What you're awakening is not found in textbooks or books. You are the authority over you. And that requires the integrity to really maintain this so that you can be someone who can actually teach your experience. And that's through authenticity. Okay. So if these superpowers are like an application, when you get a new app, right? And the way a lot of you are awakening to this is you're subconsciously reacting to metaphysical phenomena that you've always been in contact with. You know this is true because you have dreams. Every time you have dreams, you leave your physical body. All right. You enter a metaphysical realm where your subconscious communicates with you. These things occur when you're awake, but your critical mind is active. And so you're not going to process it like it's really here because it's not physically here. It's metaphysically here. So what if you activated the ability to harness this facet of yourself like an app that can integrate and augment into your 3D reality? That's what we did Aries, Taurus, and Gemini season. We initialized this app. When you start a new application, it asks you, what's your name? What do you want the app to look like? Where are you from? And all that stuff. And then after you activate the app, for example, if I had a Fitbit, I have to initialize it. The Fitbit has to know who's using it. And the Fitbit has to know my preferences, my qualities, my value, Taurus. Who is it, Aries? My qualities and preferences, Taurus. And then my attitude. What direction do I want to take this? Does smoking weed not make you remember your dreams? Everyone's different. Once I stopped smoking, I started remembering my dreams like this. I was in crazy dreams. Once I kind of took that tolerance break, dreams came back. But everyone's different. I've had dreams smoking too. But other than that, once you initialize the Fitbit, right? The Fitbit that does the steps, now it's time for you to integrate it. Activation leads to enlightenment through Gemini and works on your attitude and approach. Integration works with mastery with Virgo and develops a behavior. So if I just initialize the Fitbit, it's time for me to use this Fitbit. I'm now in the process of integrating this app with my lifestyle. So I know relative to my routine, I always walk to the store. I always walk every day. I drive to this place. Now that I've initialized this Fitbit, when I walk to the store, I'm going to use the app. And what's the app going to do? The app is going to tell me how much steps I took to walk to the store. Shout out to Sierra Waters. This is how everything that I initialized over the past 3 months, now I'm beginning to integrate it into my routine. This is where elements of my routine change and how I use the app change to adjust. Integration is where, and yeah, books are coming, so I'm definitely going to write mad books, and I really appreciate you. Integration is the process through where the seeds you planted the first 3 months break through the ground. Many of you have been feeling yourself evolving. You can't put a finger on it. You're seeing synchronicities that kind of give you a disconnect. It's almost as if when you stop trying to do what you're trying to do, it happens. You experience the synchronicity, right? The activation of the past 3 months was similar to planting a seed in the ground and it growing through the dirt. You don't see what the plan is. In fact, you just have faith that it's growing through. You keep nurturing and watering it. Now that we are within a week of stepping into that brand new moon in Cancer, that's going to push the seed through the ground. And from Cancer to Libra season, once we step into Libra season, we're harvesting and we're breaking through. So that means the experience of you really mastering and using these abilities you just activated is starting with the feeling of it. You are getting ready to activate a new feeling because over the past 3 weeks, you have activated, integrated, and harvested new supernatural abilities that coming into the next week, you will not only know how to feel about yourself in them, because right now you have done certain things that prove you have abilities. And I don't necessarily just want to say this. It doesn't have to be like you levitated or flew. For some of you, you could just have woken up without an alarm. I want you to comment an exclamation mark if, especially since April, the quality of you using these abilities or experiencing synchronicities have increased. The speed with which you think things and they happen have increased. The first part of this is the unconscious realization of how your abilities have always been on. You might have felt, how do I use it? You're always using it. The next part of this, as the seed breaks through the ground, is you coming into a conscious awareness of, are you ready? How to use it. This is where shit gets fun. Leo season, drama center, okay? And the empowerment, if you typed an exclamation mark, you are within 48 hours of directly moving towards more utilization of these abilities in a way where you're now using your application. This is so amazing. Sneak peek. By the time we get into Scorpio season and Capricorn season, you've completed the first level of the evolution. So like all the questions you have, like when you're just starting to ride a bike, like what is this bike like? How I do this? Now you've gained practice and mastery doing this. And before next year, see what's going to happen in 2024, where now you've just learned how to ride this bike you've never ridden before. Next year, you're going to upgrade the bike. And that bitch has so much cooler features. But you have to still learn how to use these abilities before you level up the skill of it. Right now, you've leveled up what it is and the quality. Next year, you're going to level up more of the quality and how skillful you are with it. You're going to realize, oh, wow, I'm used to riding this bike. I want this new bike. It has better features, and now you know how to ride it. So this should excite you, because many of you since 2012 have had this dream vision of yourself, and you're becoming it right now. It's not going to look exactly the way you felt, but better. Okay. So with that being said, I want to really illustrate why last week, when we had that full moon with the moon in Capricorn, you were understanding the utilization of these powers and what to feel, right? Yesterday, we just finished the moon in Aries. That was the quarter square that helped you understand what powers you completed harvesting and how to feel about yourself. Don't get so caught up on the details of what and how these work. That's Virgo season. And Mars just entered Virgo. In fact, Mars is 0 degrees Virgo, trine 0 degrees North Node Taurus. So every action you're taking is aligned with destiny. And it feels like it. You don't have to have too many answers. The focus is on what you feel moment to moment. And now that the moon is in Taurus, you are downloading, okay, the physical sense that is strengthening in quality and understanding the 5 senses that strengthen your awareness of your own psychic potential and ability. Cancer manifests Gemini. Aries is your identity, grapes. Taurus is your physical body, grapes turned into fine wine. Gemini is your mind, exiting Plato's cave. And Cancer is your psychic power. Cancer has been nerfed as emotions, but emotions are merely fuel that possesses you. Feelings are not what you think they are. So Cancer is the power of your thoughts. Gemini manifests intangible mental force. The government has outlawed and declassified this as science fiction because this is what has been kept secret by many Chinese institutions. All right. Many of the Chinese, many of the Asians who have mastered Taoist beliefs and harnessing chi, in their wisdom, they would not teach this to people. Egyptians had this, Africans had this, Caucasians, and many different other groups had this. This isn't necessarily something that you're supposed to teach with people, because if they can use their own mental force to induce physics, mental physics, you can't regulate that. It's a lot harder to police. Not to say that it doesn't exist in an unsanctioned part of the government. What would happen if everyone all around the world awoke in this knowledge instead of just a few people when Pluto was in the individual, right? That would lead to full-scale revolution. And so if we can vaccinate you, if we can do things to legitimately lie to you about your potential, because a lot of the motives here isn't necessarily evil. A lot of these people are afraid. They don't have the ability to regulate and monitor this. So they want to regulate it as much as they can, introducing it in science fiction and fantasy. But this is no fantasy. The fact that you breathe is an aspect of magic. Okay, science is magic. And you are the generation that's going to innovate science. You are the generation that's going to make practical and realistic magical sciences and magical practices. It doesn't even have to really center around the supernatural. For those of you who feel this talk is a little bit too unrealistic, I understand. What I'm really bringing to your attention is that the mundane experiences you experience are magic. They are supernatural. But you and your perspective bring something unique that no one else can bring into it. And so, relative to the North Node that's 0 degrees right now, okay, Moon in Capricorn harvested your utilage of these psychic powers. Moon in Aquarius helped you understand the knowledge of what you feel when you use these powers. Moon in Pisces broke through a transcendence of your belief system because you use these powers. Example for me, I was able to get 5 out of 5 free items from a raffle thing that is hard to win. Like there's no way, like to go 5 for 5 in a row is indescribable odds. But I just used my psychic power. I just knew I was going to get that prize and I got it. Whereas before, I would never get these. Like it would be luck to get them. So I've been using my abilities. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just learning how to use them. So I'm not mastered yet, right? We finna get there. Okay. So this helped me break through the belief that I'm clearly doing something, because now I'm replicating causality in my real 3D reality. Now, it was a dispensary. So like, I won an eighth. I won a pre-roll like 4 times in a row. It was weird because the way I hacked it was every time I wanted it, I would lose. So I came up with the theory, okay, let me desire the thing that I don't want to win so I can get what I really want. And basically, when I do the spinning thing, if I get a drawing, I won't win anything. Like I'll win the chance to win. What I started doing was, I want the drawing. And I would win everything but the drawing. A pre-roll, an eighth, and that's manifestation because I didn't even really want it. You know what I'm saying? But because I felt really fucked up. It's like, did I still lose? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, am I being fucked with? Am I being trolled? But the fact of the matter is, 5 in a row, which is impossible. Like, people are starting to ask me, one of the times that I won, a woman next to me won a pre-roll. And she asked me, hey, do you want my pre-roll? Like, really weird shit. And that's now letting go of expectations, getting out your own way. And like I had that experience, you did too. The reason why I'm sharing this is we're all connected. So just like I had this experience, you had several experiences of your own. It wasn't just that I experienced, okay? This is these intangible elements of yourself connecting with the physical element so that you can, with this pipeline, which was the whole purpose of Gemini season, program your spiritual intelligence. There's artificial intelligence, there's spiritual intelligence. So like, you are so amazing. You are so fucking powerful. Your brain can only process just a small percentage of your brilliance. And you are finally in the process of catching up to how amazing you are with the completion of these cycles and the initialization of this next cycle. So the moon in Aries, after you have now upgraded your belief in what you can do and you're feeling it, moon in Aries was lit because this put a fire in you to maintain that authenticity. You represent a job title, 10th house of career to Cancer, that has never been done before, that is not really understood, but is authentic to you. And so you're ready to move forward in that direction and understanding who you are that has activated these abilities. That leads us to now, moon in Taurus. What the moon in Aries did was give you a sneak peek of what the North Node in Aries transit is going to be like for the next year and a half. And now that the moon is in Taurus, you are now 11th house from this Cancer, manifesting everything. So everything we spent the past 3 weeks activating as far as power, you're finally manifesting. It's all coming through relative to 11th house of friends, the real friends who support what you do, hopes and wishes that are beginning to come true. Moon has gone over Jupiter, the king of the gods. So you're literally expanding the quality of how stronger you can understand the value and quality of these powers. And once the moon goes into Gemini, you're going to transcend the understanding of using these powers by re-understanding what they are. So whereas the moon was in Pisces and you understood how to believe in what you're doing because you did something supernatural, now you're going to transcend what it is. And it's going to release old doubts and thoughts about you never being able to do that. For some of you, this is going to be levitation, flight, waking up without an alarm. Look to the little things because they hold the biggest secrets. And once we step into that new moon in Cancer, y'all, that's going to be opposite Pluto, square the nodes. Mars is in Virgo. Venus is getting ready to retrograde. We're getting ready to go into Leo season, y'all. It's going to heat up. You are on the stage of Leo going to perform. Last year it was a talent show because the judge Simon Cowell, Saturn, was in Aquarius. Now it's in Pisces. Now that you have passed the talent show last year, you are re-emerging this recent activation of new superpowers. Because 2022, you are transcending everything you've learned last decade, which led into new evolution. Leo season is where you're going to be on stage performing the new abilities you've just activated, so that by Virgo, you can master it. And you want to get very exciting because in a few short 48 hours, in less than 48 hours, once that North Node hits Aries, everything is coming online. And the way everything is coming online is taking unconscious aspects that your subconscious picked up outside your conscious and bring it to you. It's going to take every puzzle piece you put together and start to put it together so you move in that direction. You're going to be so purposeful because the North Node that's 29 degrees Aries is immediately going to square Pluto, and that pressure is not only going to push you forward, but as we finish this Cancer season transit, shout out to the Aries moons, shout out to Joyce, this is going to literally unfold the direction you're meant to push in. Because now, guys, you finish planting the seed. It is finally broken through the ground. And over the next 3 months, we're going to nurture this so we can harvest post Virgo season. So I hope you enjoyed this magical moon message. I really hope I did a good job of explaining why this is the lever shift. Because if you think about it, you have Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, and then you have Leo and Virgo and Libra. So Cancer is the middle of the first 7, right? The first 3 activated. Cancer is going to flip the switch opposite Pluto so that once the nodes go into Aries, you're literally switching the direction you're moving into. Those of you who are wondering how to transition and what direction to go, it's just going to unfold. Answer the call. This is all happening now. And of course, as we go through the next 3 months, you're stepping into the groove. You're integrating your application. You guys are easily the best part of what I do. You've helped me find my voice, project my voice, express my voice. Every single testimonial, every single email, every single, word of encouragement that you let me know I've helped and spoken to you is worth more any money that I can do. You guys are actually the reason. Well, I never did what I do for money, but you guys are the reason that kind of reinforced that. Like my whole plan with this business is to just be available. And that confuses so many people. Like that was the authentic Moon and Aries message for me. Like a lot of people look at the fact that I own a business and they think that I do it for profit. If I did this for profit, I'd be making Leo King money. I'd be running ads. I've not run ad. I'm going to run ads soon, but I haven't run ads since I've done what I do. Because my job, now that I've built this, is to just make sure I'm available. So like if I lose almost all my subscribers and I'm not really making enough money that it's worth it, my job is to just make sure I'm available so that if one of you at 6 a.m. need a reading, I'm available to serve you and give you this reading. That's why I do this, because this has to be done. And I'm one of the front runners that are here to take and play my role. We all have a role to play and it all connects very beautifully. It is a beautiful honor to serve. And as the moon finishes out, the thing is, I know the money is going to come for all of us. So that's because we're moving towards our authenticity. And there's a lot of challenges out there that are kind of challenging me to not do this. And it reminded me why I do this, to where I can't be bought. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not making any money doing this, I'm still going to upload in a certain way the messages that need to be uploaded. But we know success is coming for us all. It's infinity, gang. The moon in Taurus is going to literally manifest every single one of the rewards that you put in over the past 3 months. Just feel it, appreciate it. Shout out to Official Hall of Fame. And really feel how valuable you are and grateful for the friends that God has blessed you with, because destiny is taking the wheel And as the North Node gets ready to move into Aries over the next few hours, and the moon is ready to go into Gemini and square Pisces, your entire perception of everything you've gone through is quintessentially shifting, okay? Moon in Gemini square Saturn in Pisces, and the North Node in Aries, T-square or cross the Sun in Cancer and Pluto in Cap is the lever switch. It's you manifesting the activation of these superpowers, and now you're feeling it. It's grounding the feeling. And all you have to do is just go within, remember that the kingdom of heaven was within, and you just have to really follow your own authenticity. Don't do what other people tell you to do. Do what is authentic to you so you can lead the charge. If this was North Node Libra, you want to compromise. This is not North Node Libra. This is North Node Aries. North Node Libra was 10 years ago. At the direction you're taking now will lead you to 10 years from now when the North Node's in Libra and we integrate everything that you walked solo with the right people. So you guys stay blessed as always. Once again, super grateful. Like I mentioned in the beginning, I do have a tip jar, so you can go to the link in my bio, or if you're watching on YouTube, the description box below. If you want to access the replay here, join my subscription. All the support helps so much. The more money I get with this, the more I can invest in an office and better equipment. But, you know, as long as I could do this here, it's more than enough. That's 99 cents a month. If you want to catch this replay, go to my YouTube. This will be free on YouTube. It'll be available on YouTube. And once again, someone just ordered a reading. Thank you. For those of you who want a report or consultation, I have an automatic discount until the 22nd. Please take advantage of it. All my readings are 50% off, and you don't need a code. It automatically applies. Okay. If you want me to record the reading and email it, get the report. If you want me on the phone with you, get the consultation. All right. You guys stay blessed as always. And once again, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Cancer is I feel, okay? The feeling of your own energy signature, as soon as the moon goes over Uranus, the North Node is going to shift into Aries. So you're going to awaken a natural grounded moon Taurus feeling of you expressing your special abilities. And that's going to lead to the moon in Gemini. Once you feel it for real, your mind is going to change. Like, oh, this is for real. This is not just in my head. It's processed through my head. Okay. Y'all stay blessed as always. And until next time.